Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Alif bin Nawi. Today I will be presenting my internship findings and project scope. I undergo my internship at the Jabatan Pengairan dan Saliran Negeri Kelantan, which is bahagian perkhidmatan mekanikal dan electrical. The company background, bahagian perkhidmatan mekanikal dan electrical Jabatan Pengairan dan Saliran Negeri Kelantan (BPME JPS) is a government branch of JPS which focuses specifically on mechanical and electrical services. The main headquarters of JPS is located at Kota Baru. BPME JPS mission is to provide services in the field of mechanics efficiently, professionally and with quality to meet the needs of national development in the agriculture sector. The objective of my internship in general is to expose students to actual working culture and industrial practice, to allow students to extend their theoretical knowledge into practice, to motivate students to practice the right working attitude and professionalism, and the last is to facilitate students to potential employers by enhancing their interpersonal skills. Next is my scope of operation during my internship. My task is divided into two, which is unit task and project task. We, the internship students, were divided into several groups, which is development building, service and automotive, which is where I'm currently in, the electrical unit, farm and fabrication, and water gate. As for the project task, we were given uh, a project, each group, for us to complete. The project consists of hydraulic jack system, drawing, gate lock steering, tire blocking, drum pump Wisma, and rain harvesting Wisma. My project is the rain harvesting Wisma. We go to unit tasks. For unit tasks, we went to site visit. My group and I went to visit the new drain location at Mukim Dewan, Machang. The visit is due to the complaint from the villagers about the irrigation system in this village. The new drain function is to make sure the water in the river in the village can flow to the river easily. During this site visit, I can see the roles that the JPS play in the community, and I can see the working system in a company where I can properly prepare myself for my future endeavors. We also have a workshop visit. In this picture over here is welding procedures. A welding practical slot has been booked several times by our supervisors for the intern students. The type of welding used is gas welding. Gas welding is a type of liquid state welding process in which fuel gases burns to generate heat. This process can be done with or without help of filler material. We tried both methods, with and without using filler material, which is low fuming bronze, for practice. During our during our during our project, I learned the most efficient way for us to perform the welding, because the supervisor in the workshop guide us on how to manage the gas welding components. Next, we go to project task, which is our group project. In our group project, we were tasked to conduct research on rain harvesting system. Rain harvesting system is a system in which rainwater is collected and is kept in storage tank rather than allowing it to run off. And in the JPS, there are 5 tanks that store the rainwater. In this project, the rainwater is collected from the main building, where it is then being redirected to 5 tanks to be stored and used later. In this case, the water stored is used to circulate the water in the fish pond. The 3 tanks located at the back of the building and 2 tanks located near the parking lot next to it will be combined to be source of water to the pond nearby. And the objective of our project is to harvest rainwater into the tank for filling the water into the fish pool. This way we can use free energy system to supply water into the pool without having to rely on electric energy and external components such as pump. To cycle the water in the fish pool by using the rainwater harvesting method, to maximize the system by increasing the height of the 2 tanks at the front section. Next is also to save the budget from using tap water, since the water can be recycled from natural sources. We can see that the rainwater harvesting system is a really sustainable system in which we don't need to spend extra money and energy to supply water. Next, we go to flowchart of our project. During the starting of our internship, we were divided into groups. We were given the group projects, and next is we received a detailed explanation by our supervisor, IR Tuan Haji Ruslan Hussein, and later our team members went to the Wisma JPS, which located at Kota Baru, to take measurement, to take the actual measurement of our project perimeter. And after that, we come out with 2D design using SolidWorks software. And from the 2D design, we come out with prototype, and with a prototype which is a mini model for our project. And after finishing our prototype, we come out with DIY mini water pump. The water pump is to circulate the water in the fish pond. And after finishing the water pump, we went and testing our prototype. And in the testing phase, there are several times when there is leakage from the model, and we have to repair it until there's no further leakage, until it's functioning well. And after all that is done, we complete our budget quotation for the actual actual price of our project. And then for our final task, our group members present our findings to our supervisor. And this here is our prototype, which is the mini model for our rain harvesting system. We come out with the prototype of the project to understand in further detail the working system of the rain harvesting system. We presented the final version of the prototype to our project supervisor. The next is when we finished our findings and we finished presenting our finding on the rain harvesting system, our supervisor gave us another task, which is to conduct a study on booster system, booster, or as known as RAM pump. Um, Initially, the rain harvesting system in the Wisma JPS is already using the booster. However, the booster did not functioning well, and the water cannot be supplied into the pool. And from there, our supervisor asked us to find out why the booster didn't functioning well, or why the booster system is the previous project that is done by previous internship students. Okay, so I'm going to explain briefly of the booster system. Instead of using the stages to increase the height of the tank, to increase the force of gravity, the booster or ramp pump is able to transfer water from tanks with lower heights to the fish pond. Compared to our rain harvesting system just now, we use the force of gravity, where we increase the height of stages to make the water in the tank flow with high flow rate. The booster or ramp pump project is a previously done project by our supervisor. However, the project is not entirely a success. The water did not flow from the lower height tank to the fish pond. We were instructed to find the possible cause of the problem and the solution to overcome the problem. In the flowchart of our system, we start our research by receiving detailed explanation by our supervisor, IR Tuan Haji Roslan Hussein. Later, we conducted study on the booster system, and we list out all the possible problems on why the ramp pump or booster did not working properly. And later, we propose our solution towards the problem that we list out. And that is the end of our booster project, which is basically only to study and to assume why the booster did not working properly. So after detailed study, we come out with 4 possible problems, which is the number 1, the height of the tank is not enough to put pressure on the system, because we can see that the height of the tank is only 1 foot from the ground. And the second one is that there is a leakage somewhere in the system that causes instability of the water pressure, and we assume that the leakage is underground, and it is hard for us to actually see the leakage unless we dig the underground part. The third possible problem is the position of the inlet and outlet pipe on the system, which is located at the same level, which results in insufficient pressure to the water flow. And when there is insufficient pressure, the water can't be flow properly into the fish pond. Okay, so the last one is that the system is not complete, which is the absence of a waste valve. This one, when we conduct our study on the booster system, we found numerous example on the internet and also in paperwork based on previous research. We can see that most of the research, most of the paperwork The booster system is have a waste valve. Compared to our booster system at the Wisma JPS, our booster system does not have waste valve. Waste valve is important to balance the pressure inside the pipe. And so we go to our proposed solution. The solution is to check the possible underground leaking of the booster by examining thoroughly. Second one is to redesign or reconstruct the new booster with proper planning so that the system can work properly. And the third one is to increase the height to the current 2 tank. For your information, the current 2 tank is only 1 foot from the ground, and we thought that maybe when we increase the staging, the pressure will be enough to make the water flow from the tank to the fish pond. So that is our group's proposed solution. Last but not least, we come out with our conclusion. Throughout this industrial training, there are so many things that we could learn from the company, such as working culture, as well as learning how the drainage and irrigation industry works in a real environment. Next, we also had the opportunity to learn hands-on skills and knowledge from experienced engineers. Besides, we can improve our communication and teamwork skills during this industrial training. We could apply all the skills which we have learned in our syllabus, and this really helped us to prepare ourselves to real working system in the near future. And I hope that what I have learned from my 10-week internship at the JPS, I can use when I'm in the actual working industry in the near future. So that is all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.